What's up, you guys? Today is the day. It is June 1st. That means it is a pre-launch event for Diablo 4 if you got the deluxe edition. So we're just going to go over 5 quick tips and tricks that you can do right now today at launch or June 6th if you bought the regular pack, which is totally fine. $70 is a lot of money. So let's get into it. The first thing I would recommend with launch is to play every single class. Number 1, play every class, especially if you're new to the Diablo franchise, ARPGs in general. You might not know what your playstyle is. That's totally okay. There's 5 different classes to choose from Druid to Necromancer. You have melee, you have physical DPS, you have ranged DPS. Try them all out. I would recommend that you play at least the prologue for each of these classes, or until level 10 or 15. Around level 15 is when you start getting the feel for all of what the class does and the aesthetic. Class fantasy is important in a fantasy RPG. So I'm probably maining a druid and a necromancer alt. I'm not really a big fan of like the barbarian or the rogue at the moment, but that's my personal preference. There are plenty of people who do want to play those classes. So get the game, spend the first few hours just leveling up each class, see what you actually want to play, and then from there you can do your own research as far as what talent trees you want to go, what builds you want to run, what itemization you want for that class. But you're not going to know that until you know what you want to play. So I'm going to have a ton of guides up here for as far as builds and talent trees go, so make sure to tune back in the next few months as we learn more and more about the game and get those tips and tricks from me as well. So that's number 1. All right, tip number 2 is you're going to take whatever character you want to be your main. You've played through at level 15. Take that character and play through the story and find as many altars of Lilith as possible. So there's 32 altars in the first act of the game. Find as many of those as possible, because what they do is they give you a static buff to all your characters on that realm. So it's critically important. Find all the altars in each act as you play them. That way, if you're playing a rogue and maybe you want to try out your sorceress for alt, you can do that, and it's just static raw power across the board, across all the characters. So it takes no effort at all to find them. They are in static locations as well, so you can do a quick Google search on the world map, find all the altars. They're usually not guarded at all by any mobs, so you can also just go find them, take them, and all your characters are buffed. So go do that, explore the world, clear the map. You won't have any fog of war, and just find the altars of Lilith, build the characters up that you want with their raw power, and then that way when you do want to switch characters or you feel like playing something else, you'll already have that buff ahead of time. Before itemization, before talent trees, they'll just be stronger in general. So go do that, find all the altars in the world. All right, tip number 3 is going to be find friends to play with. I know that we're all playing this ARPG and it's kind of an MMO, it's kind of not, and some of us are antisocial, we're not good at making friends, but hear me out. There's a lot of events like world bosses, world events that will contribute greatly to having friends. So clans are in Diablo 4, so it's similar to how clan ranking worked in Diablo 2, and groups in Diablo 3. If you play WoW, if you're a WoW player, it's similar to a guild, so I know a lot of that fantasy aspect is coming over to this game as well. So find a group of friends that you like playing with. The towns will have tons of people in them to kind of give it that world feel. Once you're out adventuring, you can also find groups of people. If you enjoy someone playing with, give them an emote, use the chat, see if they want to do a dungeon with you, see if they want to do world bosses with you afterwards. So it's critically important to find a group that you like playing with. Hopefully it's real life friends. If not, make some new ones. So that seems like a really basic tip, but really friends make all the difference. It's about the journey, yada yada yada. You get it. But really, playing with people is critical in this game. You would need good groups to clear world bosses, especially once you get to higher world tiers. Most times you can pug a few 20 people for a normal boss like we were doing here, but for the most part, when it gets harder and harder and harder, you're going to want at least a core of 4 or 5 good people you can pull from to help you clear these harder dungeons and these harder world bosses. So there's groups of 4, and there's clans of, I think it goes to 500. So get in a clan that fits your needs and find groups of players that are similar to you in both skill and just how you guys want to play together. Find people in your similar time zones. There's going to be tons and tons of people here at launch, so be sure to get it in early. Establish that core group now, so you don't have to feel like you're behind later down the road. All right, tip number 4. Some people might disagree with me on this one. This is a personal preferencing how I see the playstyle of the game, but you want to sell everything you get that you're not currently equipping. So gold is hugely important in the early game. It might not be so much later in the late game, but for right now, gold is hugely important. You need as much raw gold as possible. Don't worry about extracting affixes from items just yet. Sell everything probably until level 20 or 25 that you're not using, because you want to use that gold for just raw purchases. Now, later in the game, you can disenchant, you can pull affixes, whatever you need to do, but there's really not going to be anything you find before level 20, 25 that you can use in the end game. So just sell everything. Once you're level 50, once you're clearing higher world tiers, that's when you can go back and dungeon farm and disenchant as many goods as possible. So get that raw gold static now, sell everything in town, get it handled before you fall behind on the gold levels. All right, and lastly, guys, tip number 5. You knew it was coming. It's have fun with the game. Don't burn yourself out. There's no need to. So everyone's gonna be flocking, everyone's gonna be talking about it. You don't need to burn yourself out on this game, especially if you pre-ordered and you're playing today, day number 1, numero uno of June. Don't burn yourself out. Please limit your game time. Play other games. Don't forget your family. Don't forget your children. Don't forget to eat. It's a video game at the end of the day. Even if you fall a day or two or a week or a month behind, you will be able to catch up to people. There are tons of people playing the game. There'll be active communities, from the Discords to just your friend groups, to texting everyone. Just don't burn yourself out. I know everyone's excited and everyone wants to play, but it's critically important. Mental health and physical health is important. Please don't burn yourself out. Have fun with it. Everyone's paying $70 to $100 for this game. Just play the game. It's a video game. And I'll leave it there. So, if you like these tips and tricks, please follow and subscribe for more. I will try to be streaming some pretty late nights on Twitch. We'll see how everything goes at work. I'll be doing a Druid and Necromancer build. I play some WoW on the side. So give me a follow if you like more to come. I'll be doing talent builds as well. And I will see you guys in the world of Diablo.